All right, Jonathan, we just finished the second film. Do you have any general thoughts about the second film in the series?
Well, I'm a little concerned because already it felt really redundant. You know, it's like we're back at camp. We're back, same kind of stupidity as far as how the characters act, But I did like the girl way more in this one. She was put up a good fight, and she really seemed like she deserved to survive more than the first girl. It's like she almost lucked into it,
Jason's here. Finally. Very good. I mean, honestly, the second one I do think is actually one of the best ones. It is. Like, having seen all of them multiple times, it's still really good. And it's got some good shots in it, like that you don't really, if you've seen a lot of horror movies, there's just, you don't always see that. You see them in the background, all that stuff we were talking about. So, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, we're good. Dan, we just finished the second film in the Friday the 13th series.
Mm-hmm.
Any general thoughts about the film?
I've always liked the second film. There's a couple of factors that go into why I like it. I think the cast is very good. I like the people in it. I like the main girl. There's a lot of shots in it where you see Jason like run across the street real quick, or you see him in the background running. They showed him a lot more, which is appealing to me. They don't do that enough in horror movies, so I like that factor. The kills were good. I wouldn't say the kills were as good as the first one. Tom Savini not being there is kind of apparent. They're not as inventive, I don't think. The gore is not as good. It's a lot of like, oh, throat slash, oh, spear through the bed. But the end, I enjoy the chase. I think Amy Steele does a good job. They've got a good little cat mouse thing going. So I like it.
You mentioned the Jason, and in this film we get to see Jason really as an active participant for the first time. Jason in this film is a little bit different than what we kind of perceive Jason as being, a perfect killer, a death machine. But in this one he seems to be maybe not so perfect, where he has some trouble and he falls down. Do you want to expand on that a little bit?
There's a kind of a realistic play there. I mean, it's unrealistic from the first movie to the second movie that this person would have grown up in the woods, but as a horror movie fan, you just kind of get over that. But the realistic aspect of it is like this: he's kind of this backwoods bumbling,
It's like feral.
Yeah, he's like feral almost. So he was kind of stumbling, fumbling, and he fell a lot. But that kind of created that good tension of like, is she gonna get him? In the other movies coming up, it's like Jason's going to destroy everyone he comes in contact with. So it's fun to see that progression.
Okay, Adam, we just finished the second film in the series. Do you have any general thoughts about Friday the 13th Part 2?
Yes, I think it's better than the first one. The pacing's better. The beginning is a little slow, but after that, the kills happen quicker. I think more attractive women in this one. The kills are just as good, and no complaints about this one. I think it's one of the best in the series.
I've seen parts of this film before on TBS or TNT. Joe Bob Briggs probably, but I haven't seen it all the way through completely to my memory. So I feel pretty good. I'm getting hungry, but otherwise I'm doing pretty good.
How about the special effect quality, the practical effects?
Pretty good. I'd say it's still like on par, with the first one. I think because you see, especially at the end, you see more of Jason finally at the end. They're getting better, but yeah, a little bit more of the same.
Where do you feel the effects, the kills, sit with the first film?
They're not as good. Obviously, we're missing the handiwork of Tom Savini here. They're not as extended as well. They seem to be very like shortcuts. I don't know if there was something with the Ratings Association. Maybe they tried to make it a little bit less gory, but when people get slashed or cut, the camera doesn't seem to linger on those scenes as long as the first film, as the uncut version at least.
And the second film, we got hints of it in the first film, but in the second film they seem to amp up the sexuality and the physique. And do you want to comment anything on that? I mean, do you think they're running out of stuff to sell the movie out of already, or is it?
I think I think Dustin was talking about it a little bit, like finding certain female types and guy types as well. It's like you had your blonde jock, you had your wheelchair guy, you had the cute girl, the earthy girl, and so I think they're trying to fill certain types, so it's appealing to everyone. But
How about the rain? It seems to always be raining in these films. What?
It does. I think they're trying to go with the mood there and, create an atmosphere. I don't know that it deterred from the film. It may have been more noticeable to us just from watching them back to back, One thing I would like to say about the film is I cannot stand the beginning of the film, and when I've watched it in the past, I skip it completely. I just skip over the Adrienne King scene. Not that I don't like her, I just feel it's not shot well, it's tedious, it brings back that tediousness from the first one that I just can't stand. That people walking around the house looking in the door, it's just wasteful, it's not entertaining, and then they throw the stupid cat through the window and they revisit the whole end of the first film. You can just skip 15 minutes of this movie and just get right into the story, and that's what I like about it. It goes fast. This one is fast. It's like they get right into it, boom 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 boom. And I like that there's like a lot of characters at the beginning of the movie that don't die. They like go to a bar and there's different people, and I don't know. It worked more for me.
How did you feel about the opening of the film?
Having seen the film back to back, it was a little bit difficult to watch. But if I hadn't seen the film in a year, it might be good to kind of refreshen the story, and kind of let us know what happened to, I believe her name was Alice from the first film. Where did she end up? So we kind of conclude her story very abruptly.
I'm guessing you probably had seen this film originally on VHS or
Probably.
maybe DVD. What do you think about the Blu-ray?
Very clear, very clear. Of course, you could see that even in the last one. In fact, now that I'm realizing it, haven't watched all of them in this kind of quality, so you probably will catch some things. Some of the, like we were talking about, the lighting and stuff like that, looks different. But yeah, it's good.
Do you want to talk about the cars in this film? We had some interesting vehicles in this one. What do you think about them?
There was a good show truck at the beginning that got towed immediately.
And it was in park when they towed it in park.
The Volkswagen Beetle was a broken down heap of shit, which is typical for them. A couple of unrecognizable models in there. But yeah, pretty of the time car selection.
Jason's here. What do you think about his first entrance?
I think he's seeing him now, having seen all or many of the films. We expect the hockey mask, in retrospective. But I think with the bag on his head, he's kind of like a scary, dangerous, ignorant, like a beast. He's almost like an animal, and because he's not such an effective death machine, he it's more believable. That the protagonist can struggle with Jason, and he's not going to always just be invincible.
What would you say to people who complain about this one's Jason and they don't like him?
They've probably seen the other films before they've seen this one. I think in sequence that this Jason makes a lot of sense, if the sense can be made of these films.
Favorite kill? Obviously the wheelchair scene was awesome. But I did like when she really sunk that machete into his shoulder. Mm-hmm. I mean, she got it down several inches. So that was good good prosthetics there for that. Yeah.
The wheelchair, the wheelchair death is, I mean, you see it even when it happens, the back head shot and it just coming forward all of a sudden was quite nice. Because you're just not, it's coming, but even then, how violent it was just, and then it was hilarious too, coming down the stairs.
What do you think about the main girl?
She's definitely one of my favorites. I think she's a lot better than the first girl. The first girl just kind of felt like she was going to get it somehow, which she does in this one, actually, at the very beginning.
Okay. What was your favorite kill?
The wheelchair, without question. We, even though we're doing the marathon, we rewound that one. Anytime somebody in a wheelchair is going down some steps, I'm happy.
It's a good death.
Where do you think we're headed as far as the repetitiveness being a factor.
Well, these films are at this point in the series, or they're a money making machine for the film studio. So they're just going to continue to I think focus on those things that make them successful, and that's interesting ways of killing teenagers. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that for the remainder of the day.
All right, how
Yeah.
you feeling?
I'm ready for the third
That's
one.
bullshit. You said you were getting tired.
I was getting a little tired. I only got like 5 hours, but these are not too bad to watch. I think they're pretty good.
So as we go into the third film, how are you feeling? You getting hungry yet? You want?
No, I'm not. We had a big breakfast. Not getting hungry. I've had the urge to snack. In the last Can You Take It that we did, which anybody who has kept up with us, they've never seen it because it was lost. We did Star Trek, and the footage was lost, and it's a long lost episode. But something I adopted there was sunflower seeds, just to help curb the snacking, but also not get it too full. So I've already busted those open and gotten into the sunflower seeds. So I'm getting antsy, definitely.
All right, very good. So how are you feeling right now?
I'm good. I am concerned for later in the day because, like I said, it's like that movie felt like a repeat of the first one. So, but you know, as they were saying, you know, towards the end, it's surprising to think about. Whoa, it's in the same franchise as the first one, so it's going to be neat to see where the series goes for sure.
How
Anything
you
else?
feel going for you? You all right?
Uh,
All right.
Yeah, this isn't as hard as I thought so far. I know we're only a quarter of the way through, but I figure even when it starts to get rough, only in America can we complain about sitting through a bunch of movies on a couch is a rough day. So we're all right.